All right, so welcome everyone. Today we are going to begin lying onto our backs, find a nice comfortable position, and just allow the body to breathe for a moment. Get as comfortable as you can. So it could be legs extended, palms up by your side. If you'd rather start with knees bent, having them tent in towards each other, that might be a nice opportunity as well. Just be observers for a moment. So observing the breath and how it's affecting the body. And perhaps as we're focusing in on the breath, you might notice the mind wandering every once in a while. If that happens, just try to bring your awareness back to each breath you're taking. Doing our best to keep this calm, clear mind as we begin to move. Let's open up our eyes and then step your feet onto the ground. We're going to float the legs off the ground, squeeze the knees together, and find dorsiflexion into the ankles. Press your hands to the tops of the knees, and you control how much you want to press onto those knees or resist that pressure with the legs. So as we're here, just waking up our torso, waking up our core. Focus on your low back spreading onto the ground. Keep the same amount of pressure into the hands. We're just going to keep the knees together, but splay the ankles apart. So we're just adding in some internal rotation into the hips. You might really feel a light on, sort of feeling happen in those outer hips. One more breath, just like this. And then we'll bring the ankles back together and take your hands to the back, or the backs of the hands to the ground in a cactus shape. All right, keeping the legs hovering. Find that tone into the low belly. We're just going to knock the legs halfway over to the right. And then really pull the legs back through center. We'll sway the legs the other way. Go back and forth a few times. Don't let the legs drop all the way down. Just about halfway. You can also press with the backs of the hands and elbows to help the sway. And the next time the knees come back through center, we'll pull both thighs into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Low back might start rounding off the ground. And in a way that makes sense to you, let's come on up to table. So a little rock and roll or press with our hands. Let's find the hands under the shoulders. Really spread the fingertips wide. We're going to wake them up before we bear too much weight on them. So with wide fingers, press really into the finger pads and knuckles. We're going to get a little lighter. The heels of the hands, see if you can hover them off the mat. And then we'll let the heels of the hands lower again. Just go back and forth a few times. If you've been sitting at that desk for a little while, these feelings might be a little bit intense, so go slowly. And the next time you have flat palms, keep them there, and we'll just rotate the hands around. So you can start rotating them out so the fingers face the edges of the mat, give a little sway from side to side, and remember to use those finger pads and knuckles, pressing them down to help distribute the weight as you go. Now, this might be a good amount of rotation in the wrists, or if you would like to go a little bit deeper, go slowly. You can start rotating the fingers a little bit further back So eventually, maybe, just maybe, they face the knees. And if you want to spice it up just a little bit more, draw a little bit more weight back into the shins. And start easing back off, rotating the hands all the way back around so the fingers point to the front. All right, let's invite some cat and cow into the spine. Inhale, let the belly drop down, shine the heart to the front, tailbone lift. And then exhale, tuck the tail under, round the spine and spread the shoulder blades wide. Just go back and forth about 3 to 4 more rounds and let the breath be your guide. Come back to a neutral spine, and we're going to work on our chaturanga arms. So let's send the chest forwards of the wrists. Keep the upper arms hugging into your side as you bend the elbows about halfway down, and then use the strength in your arms. Press all the way back up to the table, and then we'll sink our feet back to heels in a child's pose. Let's do that 3 more times. We'll link it in with breath. The inhale, travel forwards to table. Exhale, send the chest forwards, bend the elbows for supported chaturanga. Press all the way back up to table, inhale. And exhale, feet goes back to the heels. 2 more. Inhale, forwards, table. Exhale, keep the upper arms hugging in as the elbows bend. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's pose. 1 more. Inhale, roll forwards, table. Exhale, bend the elbows halfway lower. Inhale, press back up. And exhale, child's pose. So hang out here, 2 deep breaths. Start rising back up to table. Tuck our toes under, and then press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Give your feet just a moment to wander, bending through the knees, opening up the calves and ankles as you look left and right. And we can find steadiness again in this shape. Now, keeping the hands where they are, let's pull the heels of the hands energetically towards the toes. You launch yourself forwards to plank, shoulders over wrists. Then lift your hips up and back again, downward facing dog. That pull of the hands as you travel forwards to plank, inhale. And exhale, press the fingers away from you, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forwards to plank. Feel free to lower the knees. We're going to hold this shape for 2 more deep breaths. Try to puff up into the upper back. And we're going to travel through our chaturanga on the way down. So press the toes forward, bend the elbows, hug the elbows in, and we'll lower all the way to the belly. And when you get there, untuck the toes. Keep your hands back by your side. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale for a small cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, small cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, small cobra. Exhale, lower down. This time we're going to come up into an upward facing dog. So really plant the hands, start lifting into small cobra. Straighten those arms out, shine the heart forwards to the front of the room with knees lifted. And then we'll meet again, downward facing dog. Pedal our feet all the way forwards until you come into a forward fold about feet hip distance. And just let the backs of the hands now come to the ground. So bend your knees enough for that to happen. Give a little bit of wrist therapy here. When you feel ready, we're going to take a big breath in. Bring your hands to the shins as you lengthen out. Then exhale, roll back down. Inhaling deeply, drive the heels into the ground, reach the arms to the sky. And exhale, hands rest down beside you. From the top of the mat, inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, from the waist, fold over your legs. Inhale, step the left leg back behind you towards a lunge. We're going to step the left hand under the shoulder, keeping it on the ground. Start stretching the right arm all the way up and look up at the top hand. Think about keeping that connection with the bottom hand so you can reach the right hand a little bit closer to the sky. Let's hang out here 2 more breaths together. Taking your top hand down to square the shoulders, press through both feet and lift the arms up by the ears, high lunge. All right, keep the legs really active and rooted. We're going to take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, bend both knees and your elbows as you pull them down to cactus, so the hovering back knee. Inhale, straighten both legs, reach to the sky. And then exhale, pull both knees down and elbows down. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale, squeeze and pull. Inhale, stretch to the sky. Exhale, pull down. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale, pull, stay low. As you inhale, rotate open towards the right for a twist. And use your exhale to come back forward, face straight ahead. Inhale, open up to the right. Exhale, face back forwards. 1 more. Inhale, open up, stay open, and we'll stretch the arms out away from you. Feel free to lower that back knee down if you're feeling like there's too much load that you're carrying. You can look to the right side or maybe all the way back to your right thumb. Now let's prepare to open up Warrior 2 facing the same way. It's a big unwind. So you can straighten both legs, reach the arms away, bend your right knee, and then expand through both arms. All right, let's let all that go with a little bit of movement. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach to the sky. Exhale, everything lowers again. Warrior 2. 3 more like that. One more to move with breath. When you find a nice strong Warrior 2 again, we'll look down our right hand, bring both palms to the ground, and let's step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forwards to plank. Exhale, either passing through chaturanga or all the way down chaturanga. Inhale, maybe it's a small cobra or an upward facing dog, you decide. And exhale, meeting again, downward facing dog. Let's use your next inhale, stretch the right leg back behind you. As you exhale, step about half of the way forward, so very small lunge. Keep the left hand planted where it is. You're going to stretch your right arm ahead of you and then rotating it towards the right side, then all the way behind you. Let your feet adjust so you move onto the blade edges of both feet. So imagine yourself like a spring wound up here. Let's unwind, opening up to the left side so both hands can find the ground. Toes pivot until you're in a straddle. So the toes are facing the long edge of the mat. We'll repeat that a few times in sequence. If you got a little tied up there, not to worry, we'll figure that out again. So let's hang out here in a passive forward fold, just heavy head. Let any tension from the neck, from the jaw just melt away. Begin walking your fingertips forward so you get longer through the spine. Look back towards your right foot and let's pivot around into a lunge facing the top of the mat. Now take your left leg, bring a bend into the knee. We'll spring forward. Both feet land under the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow back down. And inhale, drive through the heels, rise to stand. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, fold from the waist over your legs. Inhale to step the right leg back. Keep the right arm under the shoulder and begin stretching the left arm to the sky. So rooting down through the right palm, growing tall through the left hand. All right, we'll take the top hand down, square the shoulders to the mat, press through both feet. We'll come on up, high lunge, arms by the ears. We'll take a big breath in, lift it. Then as you breathe out, bend the back knee as well as and the elbows down to cactus. Good, that hovering squat. Inhale, both legs straighten, reach to the sky. Exhale, pull down to cactus. 3 more like that. Really finding this power in our legs, lots of structure into the spine. And on this last one, either hovering the knee or that option again to bring it all the way to the mat. Use your inhale, open up to the left side. Exhale, spin back forwards. Inhale, open to the left. Exhale, look straight ahead. Last one, we'll hold this twist open and expand through the arms. You can look to the left or back to your left thumb. Let's start preparing to open up the other side to warrior 2. A big unwind, the legs can straighten, expand through the arms, and then anchor down to the feet as you bend the left knee, warrior 2. Moving with breath, let's let it all go. Inhale, legs straighten, reach to the sky. Exhale, rebend that front knee. 3 more. Light as a feather on the inhale, grounded and stable on the exhale. When you find this next warrior 2, stay there. Look past the left fingers, and both hands can come find the ground. Step your left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll shift forwards to plank. Exhale, you decide, either chaturanga or pass through it on the way to the belly. Inhale, maybe it's a small cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, stretch the left leg back behind. And as you exhale, step about half of the way forward. Keep leaning into the right palm and extend the left arm ahead of you. Now we're going to rotate open to the left to begin. Pivot onto the edges of the feet, reach the arm all the way back behind you. And we'll let the spring go. Open up towards the right, both palms find the ground, and let the feet pivot into a straddle. Just as we had before, heavy head. We can add on slightly. Walk the hands over to the left side. Right arm might reach a little bit further. And optionally, you might soften the right knee a little bit. Straighten out the right leg if it bent. Walk the hands all the way over to the right. And the left fingertips might go a little bit further as you slowly soften into the left knee. Let's come all the way back up through center. Hands will pivot all the way around towards your left foot at the top of the mat in a lunge. Bend the back knee, your right knee. We're springing forward. Both feet land under the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float down. And inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, back to mountain pose. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, from the waist, fold forward. Inhale, step your left leg back. Keep the left hand under the shoulder and stretch the right arm to the sky. Now take a look up at the top hand for a breath in. And as you breathe out, take your top hand, scoop it underneath your right thigh as you look down. We'll just flow that arm up and down 3 more times. Inhale, open up the wingspan, look up. Exhale, scoop, look down. Inhale, rotating open. Exhale, close it off. One more. Inhale. And exhale, squaring the shoulders down. Fine, press into the feet. We're coming back up. High lunge, arms by the ears. All right, we're gonna add on to what we had just done. So inhale, right where you are. Exhale, bend both knees, pull the elbows down to cactus as you spin to the right. Little corkscrew. So inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms to the sky. And exhale, pulling the elbows down as you rotate to the right. Inhale, get long. Exhale, pull and twist. Just one more. Inhale. And exhale, stay twisted. Reach the arms away. Challenge yourself, either looking to the right or your right thumb. Let's remember to prepare ourselves, steady the gaze, opening up warrior 2, a big expand open, and then bend that front knee. Let's reverse our warrior, right arm reaches to the sky. And then find a little bit of pulling sensation between the legs as you straighten the right knee, reverse triangle. Reaching your right fingertips forwards, pull the hips back behind. Make sure you can kind of hold yourself as you're hovering here in space, and then transfer those arms north and south. So for some people, we might be up here a little bit higher. A lot of people might be lower. It really depends on where you feel comfortable holding yourself there. When you're ready, just look up at that top hand. Let's let the left fingers pull us back up to reverse our triangle. Rebend your right knee, reverse warrior, and eventually both hands come down to the ground. We'll step that front foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forwards to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga, or pass through it to the belly. Inhale, upward facing dog or small cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a nice big inhale to stretch the left leg back behind. And as you exhale, step halfway forwards between the hands or close to the hands. Keep leaning into the left palm. Reach the right arm ahead. I'm going to rotate again onto the edges of the feet as you load the spring. Getting ready, opening all the way up to the left side, both feet pivot. And then right away, let's bend into the left knee and just pulse there in some side lunges. Kind of bending the knee, straightening it out a few times like that. As we're here as well, try your best to reach the spine out from the hips rather than really hunching and rounding the back. Now we'll find 2 straight legs again. Look towards your right leg at the front. Rotate back around towards a lunge. Spring load the back leg. We're stepping forwards. into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float back down. And inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, we'll fold forwards. Inhale, step the right leg back. Keep the right palm under the shoulder. Stretch the left arm to the sky. Take a big breath in, looking up at the top hand. And as you breathe out, scoop that arm underneath your front leg. Look to your bottom hand. Inhale, open up. Exhale, scoop, look down. 2 more. Move with your breath. Opening up the wingspan. Rotating closed. Opening up, big breath in. And exhale, look to the bottom. Now we're squaring the shoulders. Start pressing into the feet. Come on up, high lunge. Take a breath in and high lunge. As we breathe out, we're bending the knees and elbows, rotating open to the left. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, everything pulls down and opens to the left. 2 more of these corkscrews. It really helps, I find, if you're engaging the legs and imagine energetically they're pulling towards each other. So the next time you come into this twist, stay twisted, reach the arms away. Decide where you want to look. You got 2 breaths to hold there. Now take your time as we rotate open, a big unwind, expand through the upper half, and really bend that left knee. Warrior 2. Begin by reversing your warrior. Squeeze the legs together as you straighten the front leg, reverse triangle. Take all this length on the left side, pull it forwards, decide how much you want to be leaning down or straight up. And from there, at a safe place you can hold yourself, rotate those arms north and south. Let your top hand pull you back up to reverse your triangle. And then rebend that front knee, reverse warrior, before both palms come down to the ground. And we'll step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forwards to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend of choice. Exhale, down dog. Let's reach the left leg back behind. Step about half of the way forwards towards the hands. Keep leaning into the right palm as the left arm reaches ahead. Open yourself up, rotating onto the feet. Reach the hand all the way behind. And we'll open up to the long edge of the mat, rotating our feet into a straddle. This time we bend into the right knee right away, pulsing through some side lunges. We're doing our best again to really reach the spine out from the hips. Maybe that means having fingertips onto the ground, or you could even place a prop under the hands. Doing our best to keep roundness out of the low back. Come back to 2 straight legs. Look towards your left foot. Walk our way back around into that lunge. Get ready to spring forwards with the back foot. And we'll land in a forward fold over our legs. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold back down. And inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, mountain pose. All right, one more little movement flow here. Feet under the hips. Take a big breath in, stretch the arms to the sky. And exhale, fold over our legs. Inhale, step the left leg back behind. Keep the left hand under the shoulder and the right arm to the sky. Now this time we're going to get a little lighter on the bottom hand. So lift up onto your finger pads, stretch the right arm a little bit closer to the sky, and we're going to let that top hand pull us all the way up and back into that standing twisted lunge. You can look to the right side of the room or back behind you. Now keep the arms expanding away. So prepare to open up to the other side. Warrior two. Now straighten out the front leg. Reach way forwards. Find that moment of hovering again in a sustainable place to hold. And we'll rotate the arms, triangle pose. Take a look up at the top hand for a big breath in. And as you breathe out, take your top hand, bring it down, give yourself a high five. Inhale, open back up. Exhale, high five. Two more. Opening the wingspan, closing it off, exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Now on your next inhale, reach the left hand to the sky, allow it to pull you back up, and we'll bend our right knee, warrior two. All right, now we're gonna work on a little fun transition here. Begin straightening the right leg, and slowly we're gonna bend the left knee. Try to make sure it's bending in the same direction as the toes are pointing as you bring the hands in front of the heart, and you might even roll onto the front heel. This is Skandasana. So move through it with breath a little bit more. So inhale, come back, warrior two, right knee is bent, arms reach away. And as you breathe out, straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, hands in front of the heart. Go back and forth 2 more times. And just imagine those legs really pulling in towards each other as you transition from these poses, one to the other. Good. Okay, so we'll land again, warrior two. Look down the right hand and bring both hands to the ground. We'll step back, downward facing dog. Coming in for a flow, inhale, shift forwards to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale for a back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, we'll stretch the right heel back. And exhale, step half of the way forward. Lean into the left palm as you stretch the right hand ahead. Rotate open to the right. Get that spring loaded. And we'll open up the other way. Go right away into these side lunges, so bending the left knee. And then we'll alternate. Bring it over, bend into the right. Now these side lunges could stay as they are, lengthening out the spine, hands on the ground. Or we work into that Skandasana. We can have the arms up beside you in front of the heart and the extended leg, and pivot onto the heel as the toes point up. So you just decide what's feeling best and what you want to work on in this moment. Whenever you're ready, hands can find the ground again. Look towards the right foot. Rotate yourself around into that lunge and spring the left foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float down. And inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, back to mountain pose. All right. Inhale, reach the sky. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, step the right leg back. Right hands under the shoulder. Left arm reaches up. Now slowly get a little more secure in the feet. Get lighter in the bottom hand. So tensing into the fingers. Looking at the top hand, reaching for something. And eventually it'll pull you all the way up and back into the standing twisted lunge. So look back at the left hand. All right, another big unwind coming our way. Expand, open, warrior two, and find that nice big bend in your front knee. Good, now we'll take the bend out of it again to straighten it out. Look past your left fingers, reach the fingers forward, hips go back, hover for a moment, and then rotate those arms in a sustainable angle for you to hold. Take a breath in, looking up at the top hand. As you breathe out, bring both hands to touch, look down. 3 more, move with your breath. The next time you find yourself reaching back up, let that hand reach for something, pull you back up to stand, and bend your front knee, warrior two. All right, now we're going to practice that Skandasana again. We'll move slowly, straighten out the left leg. You're going to bend the right knee. The knee goes forward to the long edge, hands come in front of the heart. Maybe you add in that little toe flick, the toes point up. Come back forward, bend your front knee, reach the arms away, warrior two. Pull the legs together energetically as you switch knee bends, hands in front of the heart. Just a couple more here. Getting used to this transition, used to this shape. Good, so we'll all meet again. Warrior two. Look down the left hand till both palms find the ground. Let's step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend of choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in to stretch the left leg back. And as you breathe out, step half of the way ahead. Lean into the right palm. Stretch the left arm forwards. Rotate open to the left till you're reaching back behind. And nice and smoothly, bring both palms to the ground. Open up the other way. Right away, bending in the right knee for a side lunge. Start with your side lunge. Alternate sides. And then if you'd like to add on into Skandasana, you could practice that little flip up, either hands in front of the heart or big eagle wings out by your side. Bring both hands to the ground. Look towards the left foot. We'll rotate back ahead. Get that back leg ready to spring and step it under your hip. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold down. And inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands rest down beside you. All right. Take a big breath in, stretch the arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forwards over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands down, and we're going to step the right foot back, then left to plank. Now feel free to lower the knees again. We're going to hold here for 3 more breaths, really pressing the mat away, puffing up into the upper back, and feel all those muscles in your torso wrapping around, giving you a big hug. 1 more breath to go. And as you exhale, you can lower all the way down to our stomachs. Let's give ourselves a pillow under our forehead by stacking the palms. You can just lengthen the spine out by wiggling the toes back. Begin just by relaxing every muscle. Observe your breath again. Notice maybe its rhythm has changed, its pace has changed, its quality. And slowly we'll start to do our best to lengthen out the inhales and exhales. Let's bring a bend into the right knee, but slide that knee out to the right side so the inner thigh finds the ground. Take your right palm, we'll bring it under the shoulder. Begin lifting your chest up enough. So you can now take the left hand, thread it underneath of you till you come onto the shoulder, the left side of the head. Begin rolling onto the left side of the body so the hips stack. And you can just expand the right arm back behind you in an angle that feels all right for your shoulder. When you get there, just get heavy again, relaxing into this twist. We can take our right hand back across, press it into the ground so we can untie the body, and the right leg goes back behind. Pause for a moment again, hands under the forehead for a couple more breaths between sides. Taking our left knee, bring a bend into it as you slide it out to its side. Left palm comes under the shoulder to lift the chest up. Now it's the right arm that threads underneath. Start rolling up to the right side of the body. Make sure the neck feels supported. And expand your left arm back. Take the left arm, bring it back across the chest. Plant the palm, untangle the body. And let's press the palms. So we bring our hips back to heels in a child's pose. Sit back onto your heels, and let's bring our legs ahead of us. Let's begin with a straight left leg. Bend the right knee and let it fall out to the side. Now, if you like to sit on props, this is where a blanket or cushion, something like that, could go under the feet. And let's press the fingers into the mat, lift ourselves out of the hips. You could stay fully lifted or soften forwards, ahead towards your toes. Begin to lift back up. Lean into your hands back behind you, enough that you can have a nice straight back as you cross the right ankle on top of your right thigh. Before we do anything else, keep that ankle active, so shining the toes back towards the shin. And slowly we'll start bending the left knee so the foot finds the ground. So a little bit of an easier pose is to find more of a lean back into the hands. And to make this more difficult, you wiggle the left foot closer to you or your hands closer to you. We're finding a figure 4 shape here. keep the ankle active and try to press the right thigh away from you just by using those big, strong muscles in your legs. Let's wiggle the left foot ahead again so it straightens. And then step the right foot to the opposite side of that leg. Lean back into the right hand. Keep pressing the spine nice and tall. Take a breath in. We'll stretch the left side long. Then as you exhale, either tuck the elbow behind the knee or just hold that thigh nice and close to you. Every inhale, reach the spine to the sky, and every exhale, you can look over your right shoulder. Now untie yourself, look off to the left, and stay looking left. We're gonna just have a little fun for a moment in a little arm balance. It's called baby grasshopper. And to do that, we're gonna take your right foot, spin the toes to the long edge of the mat, and then also drop the left toes to the long edge of the mat. So you start sitting onto your left hip. We've done lots of strength-based stuff, so we are ready for this. Your left hand's gonna come nice and close to you, and think about that chaturanga arm that we were working on by hugging the upper arm in and finding that 90-degree angle. So that's what we're doing on the left side. Your right hand is gonna reach down for the pinky side of your extended leg. Now you might stay fully on the ground, just hugging everything in here, or slowly rock forward. And maybe you can press onto that hand, lift the leg and your hip up off the ground. Just play around, have a little fun. And whenever you're ready, we can come back to our seats. All right, just lean into your hands again, untangle the legs. You can let the knees bounce anything you like between sides. Let's do that again. This time, right leg is straight, left knee bends, and the knee falls away. Optional to use a little prop under the feet. We'll press the hands, grow nice and tall, staying fully lifted, or bowing forwards ahead towards our toes and way past them. We'll begin to lift again. Lean into the hands behind, really find a nice long spine and leaning back into those palms as we cross the ankle on top of the thigh. So dorsiflex that ankle, any amount bend the right knee just so the foot can find the ground, and find the angle that is suiting you right now. So walk your hands forwards or back, and you could wiggle that right foot forwards or closer to you. Use the muscles in your leg. Try to widen the stance in the left hip. Start wiggling the right foot all the way ahead again until it becomes straight, and then dock the foot to the opposite side of your leg. Lean back into the left palm, press the hand down to lengthen the spine out. Inhale, right arm reaches to the sky. And exhale, find your twist shape. Inhale, keep growing taller. Exhale, continue to open up the spine. Let yourself rotate open to the right. Stay looking to the right, and we can have another little fun go at our arm balance. So pivot all toes, all 10 toes, to fall over to the long edge of the mat. You're sitting onto the right hip, and start with a right arm nice and close to you. Hug the upper arm in and start bending the elbow. Your spare hand reaches around for the pinky side of your extended leg foot. Stay fully planted, or keep hugging in with that arm, rock forwards. Maybe the hip and the leg lift, maybe grasshopper. And when you're ready, head on back to your seat. Let's let the legs lengthen out again. Let the spine lengthen out. Maybe a little bounce into the knees, anything you like. And when you're ready, we'll prepare to come down to the back. So wiggle the toes ahead, arms reach forwards, roll down to the spine. When you get there, let's bring the feet so they're under the knees, hip distance, and hands by your side. Root down through the heels. We'll lift the hips up just one time today. If you'd like to turn this more into a back bend, you could roll the shoulders under, clasp the hands. And let's use the press of the feet, squeeze the glutes and thighs to lift the hips up. Stretch out that back, stretch out the hips. When you're feeling ready, make room. Separate the hands, bring the hips down. Let's just let the knees fall from side to side a few times. Lifting the knees back through center, we can extend the heels all the way ahead, toes fall apart. Hands might be comfortable up by your side, nice and open. Or bring the hands over yourself, one over the heart and belly, just to notice what's going on inside again. At this point, we can let all that observation go and just be. Relaxing the mind, letting go of any control of the breath, any rhythm you might have been giving it. Just resting every part of the body. Inviting your breath to go a little bit deeper. Inviting small and familiar movements towards your hands and feet. Stretch your arms overhead, point your toes far away. And when you're feeling ready, roll over to your side and press on up to a seat. I want to thank you for joining me on the mat today, being present with yourself, celebrating this body that we live in through some movement and breath. And I look forward to doing it again soon. Namaste.